lovely with lard or Sobre Mesa Farm. And today I am going to be making a yummy Chex Mix that goes awesome for snacks for the holiday season coming up, for gifts to teachers, co-workers, anyone in between there. It's just a really great thing to have on hand too if you got lots of people coming in. And I know this year is a little bit different. A lot of people probably don't have a lot of people coming in, but this is one of our favorite snacks just to have laying around at the holidays. And so with this Chex Mix, I already have everything measured out, and we're gonna do this really quick. It's a simple thing to kind of put together. It just takes a little bit longer to cook. Now, I have one of my cast iron pot pans here, and in this cast iron pan, I'm going to be adding a half a cup of honey, and our friend Sue did this honey, and we bought lots and lots of honey from her. So we love all of our local honey. Love cooking with honey versus sugar. So anytime I can have honey in a recipe, I absolutely love it. It gives it better flavor, and I know where it comes from. It's a natural source of sweetener, which is just wonderful. So I'm gonna add that half a cup of honey to my pan. To this, I'm going to be adding 2/3 cup of brown sugar. In the 2/3 cup, we want to pack that brown sugar in there. So I'm going to be adding that brown sugar into my pan. And then this is where we add the flavor. Well, before we even add the flavor, let's get that yummy butter added in. So we're going to do 1 stick or a half a cup of good butter. Plop that in there like that. And then to that, this is where our spices come into hand. Now in here, I already have my spices measured out, and this is where the amazing flavors of this Chex Mix are so different than any other Chex Mix that I have. So this is also a sweet Chex Mix, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. This actually I have 1 teaspoon of ground ginger and 1 teaspoon of cardamom in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my pot. And then from there, the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some orange juice. I have a 1/4 cup of orange juice that I'm gonna add to this as well. And citrus and cardamom go really well together. So we're gonna go ahead and add that orange juice, a 1/4 cup of orange juice to that. And from here, folks, we are gonna go ahead and come back to my amazing stove. I don't know if you noticed it in the last video that I did, that my amazing husband restored for me. And so this has just been such a wonderful treat to have in our kitchen. And anytime anybody comes into our kitchen, this is something that we always talk about, like, whoa, that is so cool. And we're like, yeah, we know, it is so cool. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and get this lit, if I can get it lit. And I'm gonna put this on here. Turn that up as high as it goes. And we're gonna go ahead and get that all melted down together. So I'm gonna leave that over there. And while that's all melting down, we're gonna go ahead and put all our other ingredients together. So in this giant bowl, which by the way, I usually use for my baking, but it also comes in super handy for giant recipes like this, I am adding 12 cups of Rice Crisp cereal, Rice Chex cereal. And this is another thing that in our family that is such a great snack to have, is because we have some gluten-free people in our family that can't have gluten. And so a recipe like this is really handy too, because this is a snack that people that have gluten sensitivities or allergies can eat as well. Okay, so 12 cups is approximately about a 12-ounce box of cereal. Okay, and so there we're going to be adding 2 cups of craisins. So I just bought some craisins. We're adding 2 cups of craisins to this. We are also adding 2 cups of dried banana chips. Now they are store-bought banana chips, and because I don't have time right now to dehydrate my own and do my own, so we just went ahead and got the store-bought one. So we're doing 2 cups of that. And then we're adding nuts to this. Now, if you have nut allergies in your family, you don't have to add the nuts to it, but I am going to be adding 1 cup of roughly chopped almonds and 1 cup of roughly chopped pecans to my bowl. And like I said, now there are people that have just pecan allergies, so you could just do almonds. Or it depends on what kind of nut you like. Maybe in your family you don't like almonds and you'd rather just have all pecans. So, but I like to kind of mix it up a little bit and have all of that in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this in there. So 2 cups of chopped nuts. Like I said, they're roughly chopped. I'm gonna come over here and give this a stir. Melting down super fast. And it smells amazing. The cardamom, the ginger, and the orange juice in this, oh, it's just lovely. It's just such a nice, different flavor. And I you know, up until not too long ago, oh, it was probably maybe, you know, 10 years ago, I had never really used cardamom. And I think it's a really underlooked spice as well. I don't think people really use it that much. And there's something about it that is just a really unique flavor that's amazing in a lot of different dishes. I also make a homemade cinnamon rolls, and sometimes I like to add the cardamom either to my cinnamon in when I roll my roll up, or when I make caramel rolls, sometimes I add the cardamom to the caramel part, into my brown sugar and butter and stuff, because it just gives it just a real unique, yummy flavor to it, okay? So typically, this recipe also calls for 2 cups of coconut, shredded coconut. Come back here, and this is taking just a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So we usually add 2 cups of dried coconut flakes to this. They'll last about 20 minutes when we're cooking it. But my husband doesn't like coconut. He does not. He loves the flavor of coconut, but he hates the texture of coconut. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that out. So that way he's not like, oh, because I want him to enjoy this too. So I'm gonna go ahead and lightly mix this in with my hands. And from here, we're gonna go ahead, I'm going to bring over, I have 2 baking sheets already ready to go. I lined them with parchment paper, and parchment paper just makes cleanup a lot easier, a lot more simple, especially when you're dealing with cooked sugars. So I'm going over here. Now I did fail to mention that we want to preheat our oven to 250 degrees. So this is a real low and slow bake. And when we get this, we'll put the syrup all over this, stir it in, and then we'll put it on, kind of flatten it out onto our baking sheets. And about every 10 minutes, I actually pull it out of the oven for 50 minutes, and I just give it a good stir, and then I put it back into the oven. And sometimes, give or take, it just depends, especially with this stove, it just kind of depends. Sometimes it's calibrated, sometimes it's not. So sometimes I feel like maybe I need to leave it in just a little bit longer than 50 minutes. So you want to turn the oven on at 250, and we cook it for 50 minutes with about 10 minutes, every 10 minutes, giving it a stir. So that way it doesn't burn, and you get it all mixed in. All the different flavors mixed in, and all the yumminess going all over the Chex Mix, all over the nuts, all over the banana chips. Here in our house, I have 2 growing boys and a husband who loves food. So I need all of this kind of good snacks lying around. I'd rather have my kids be eating this than, let's say, a box of Cheez-Its or a box of animal crackers. We really try and we strive, okay, that is done. We strive really hard in our home to eat as good as possible with less less ingredients, the better. Less chemicals that we can't pronounce, the better. I think the healthier we feel, the better we feel, the better we function in society. And it also helps with COVID right now, trying to keep our bodies healthy and keeping that at bay. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and bring this on over. I'm using my apron and I'm gonna go ahead and put that all over my cereal. Get that all. Now, these pans are so amazing. I had the most wonderful aunt. We call her Dee Dee, or Deanna. Hey, Deanna. And she gifted me all these wonderful La Creuset pans, and they're actually vintage because she lived in Germany for years ago when she was young and her husband was in the army. And she bought those, and she's like, you know, I've never used them very much. Would you like them? And I'm like, would I like them? I would love them. And so that's what we use. We use a lot of cast iron in this home, and we love to use cast iron. Okay, so as you can see, I have this all mixed up. Doesn't look like much, but boy, if you could smell this right now, holy cow. And so from here, I'm gonna go ahead and dump this out on my cookie sheets. I got 2 parchment lined cookie sheets. Oh, the goodness, it's kind of settled to the bottom too. So we're gonna have to kind of stir that all in on our sheets here. And that's why it's so important to stir it throughout the baking process too, just to make sure everything gets evenly coated. You know, there's nothing worse than eating caramel popcorn or like this Chex Mix, and you get something that doesn't have anything on it. So I just kind of push that down all over my sheet. Try that. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, y'all. Unfortunately, this kind of stuff, I could sit and eat all of it right away. All of it. So, from here, I'm gonna pop it into my amazing chamber oven back here. I'm gonna let it cook, like I said, for 50 minutes, stirring it periodically, taste testing it every now and then, just to make sure that I think it's fit for the kings of my house. And from our house to your house, may you have the most amazing holiday and that you're full of thankfulness. I know here at our house, we are thankful for our health. We are so thankful for each other, and we're thankful for a roof over our head. Until next time, we'll see you later.